Good evening, everybody, and you're very welcome to this evening's parent and student webinar on Immersive Software Engineering in association with Limerick and Clare Education and Training Board and the University of Limerick and the staff of the ISE department. We're very excited about this evening's webinar. We know that these nighttime webinars, which we keep to around 30 or 40 minutes, are very, very popular with parents and particularly students as well, who just want some basic information about the topic that we have to speak to you about, and allow for some questions and answers, and I suppose a signpost to the various different types of information that you would require if you wish to learn more about this very exciting course that's available here in Limerick. So my name is Donncha Treasaigh. I'm Director of Schools with Limerick and Clare Education Training Board. We have a number of schools across Limerick and Clare, and we're very, very excited about the fact that we have such a good association with the University of Limerick. Lots of our students from Limerick and Clare are obviously very attracted to the very, very fine campus and excellent experiences for students in University of Limerick. And we're delighted to partner with Tiziana, Stephen, JJ, and Keith here this evening. So I'll hand you over now to Professor Stephen Kinsella, who will speak to you for a few moments and introduce the rest of the team. So Stephen, very nice to see you, and over to you.
Thank you very much, Donncha. I'm incredibly pleased to be here, to be able to speak to you all tonight, and thank you all again for taking the time. Immersive software engineering is the most exciting thing that is happening at the University of Limerick. It is incredibly cool, incredibly innovative. Every single week you will learn something new about this course, because we are learning something new about this course. We're doing new things literally every week. Just today, we announced scholarships for equality, diversity, and inclusion for €10,000 each. We announced a partnership last week with Johnson & Johnson. It never stops getting interesting. And the basic sales pitch is, it's a 4-year master's degree where you do 45% of your coursework in the world's leading companies, and you get to work with amazing faculty who are at the very top of their game. And I want to introduce my colleague, Professor Tiziana Margaria, who's the co-director and course director of ISE, and she'll speak to you for a few minutes. And then my colleague, JJ Collins, head of residencies at ISE, will speak to you afterwards. And we can get into it and have questions and answers as we need to. So with that, I'll shut up and I'll pass over directly to Tiziana. Please take it away.
Okay, so thank you, Stephen. Thank you very much to everybody for being here, and to Donncha for this opportunity. I'm the course director, basically meaning the academic responsible for the contents and the structure of the entire course. And so I will just play this role, spending a couple of minutes giving you the key points about the novelties that we have introduced in this course. And then I will hand over to JJ for some other more important novelties. I will try to share my screen. Let's see whether it works. I hope it does. Okay. The most important thing from my point of view is the completely different way of organizing the education. So if you are used to the normal traditional way of organizing courses, which is good and excellent, they typically work with 2 semesters, so one in the autumn and one in the spring, typically over 12 to 15 weeks, where you have 5 or 6 modules that are running in parallel. Okay, we have turned this organization on the head. So as you see actually here in this entire presentation of all the modules of all the 4 years, where the green part is the bachelor part and the blue part is the master, you see that we have only 2 blocks per each semester, which basically means we have larger learning units where we can really learn by doing, with projects and with challenges, but still instilling all the foundations, all the theory, all the long-term valuable knowledge that the students will need in their professional life in the next 40 years or so. And but they are more integrated. And so this is a completely different way of organizing things. You also see that they are organized in 3 semesters. So we are taking good part of the summers as well. That's the way we have the intensity, and we have the immersion also in the summer. And you see also that sometimes the students are starting earlier and finishing later. So you see with the blocks. And this is part actually of the intensity. We are treating the students as young professionals instead of, third level, extension to the schools. One cool part that we have there that JJ is going to talk to you about is actually this concept of residencies. Stephen already mentioned 45% of the time is spent in companies doing professional work, really integrated in teams. And so JJ, who is the unique head of residencies on the planet, is going to talk to you more about that. Okay, I will just move on to the coolness factor. The coolness factor is that you're going to work in a computer science degree where you are learning by doing, learning studios, working on projects. So you have no scheduled classes. You're actually 9 to 5 in a space that we are creating specifically for these students. They will live, so to say, in that space. They will never have an end of term exam because we are going to have continuous assessment for all the modules. They will get a master's qualification in 4 years, actually even less than that, spending half of the time working with us. We are a research-driven, research-imbued program, so that you are going to have leading edge, bleeding edge, actually, knowledge about the new technologies and the new way of doing software engineering for the future, but also half of the time spending the time in paid residencies, what we call residencies, which is basically placements in companies. And if you want to see actually who are the companies, I mean, Stephen already mentioned that we have just announced the partnership with Johnson & Johnson, but names like these ones okay, we are going to see it a little bit later. These are really household names that go from startups to large multinationals. Some families, some people have also the economical aspect, so to say, on their radar. So here is really data. We believe in data, okay? We are engineers. And so this is the data actually on the first year of career entrance and then career progression in various professional disciplines. I mean, we have taken really medicine, law, dentistry, accountancy, architecture. So these are serious professions. If you see software engineers, they start higher and they continue steeper. There is one more advantage to this, because it is not a chartered profession, it is not an accredited profession, you're not limited by the validity of the accreditation. Like teachers, they can only practice in a certain country, doctors, they can only practice in a certain area or so. Software engineers can practice everywhere. So whatever happens in your life, wherever you're going to land, you or your family, okay, you're going to actually be able to be a sought for professional, okay, anywhere on this planet, and soon maybe on Mars, okay? We have already, I need to mention, okay, I am the course director, the entry criteria. Living certificate or an equivalent with this minimum of grades and levels. The important part is the H4 grade in mathematics. You may be familiar with this. There is a special mathematics examination held at the end of the summer in UL for all the students that did not achieve the math grades. So if you don't have an H4, don't panic. You can take an examination and you can still be successful. And there is one more element that is different. We are admitting students also based on the portfolio. The portfolio is very important because it is 300 points, up to 300 points that are added to your CAO points. Okay, so our students are graded out of a basis of 900 or 925, okay, not on 600. And there is an entire description of what is the portfolio, how to organize it, how to do it. We have done webinars specifically for this. We have done the entire text initiative, which is linked from our website. So there is plenty of information on how to do this. If you have questions, we are happy to answer them later on. And as Stephen already mentioned, we are really proud of living our commitment to equality, diversity, and inclusion. We also have donors like Transact Campus and Intercom that have the share, these values. And so we are happy actually to announce today the 2 scholarships that we are going to be able to provide to students, 10,000 euros. That's quite a lot. Okay. And so, yeah, this is the place where to go. If you are interested, the website is www.softwareengineering.ie. There is a lot of information, webinars, etc. Yeah, feel free to consult that and to ask questions at the end. And with this, I pass directly the baton to JJ, talking about residencies and the company connection.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Tiziana. I think you've almost said it all, but I'll add a little more detail to the residency. So just briefly, for those of you who don't know me, I lecture software architecture and machine learning in the Department of Computer Science and Information Systems at UL. And it's a great honor and privilege to be here this evening. And we hope that what we talk about this evening will open up new opportunities for some of you here. Just briefly, I recall when I was introduced to computing, I was in secondary school. I think the extension of the dinosaurs, or there might have been a few still knocking around. A crazy, wonderful teacher brought in a computer and started running programming classes outside of ours, and it just opened up a whole new world to me. One where the thrill of creating solutions using technology is something I've never gotten the first experience, and it's something I have the privilege of experiencing through software engineering on a regular basis. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, and I'm just going to talk briefly about the residencies. So you learn software engineering by doing it, and that's one of the principles that underpins immersive software engineering. So ISE residencies, they're inspired by what we see as best practice in other disciplines, such as, for example, medical residencies, where trainee doctors and nurses put theory into practice under expert supervision. So, for example, a trainee doctor, they might do a surgical rotation in which they're expected to have done an appendectomy, and then at a later date would do an orthopedic rotation in which they're expected to have completed hip replacement, hip joint replacement, for example. So the same with us. We want to give students the best opportunity to learn by doing the world's best companies, and this is through 5 residencies. So software engineering is a craft, and you'll learn best in the workplace. And you complete 5 paid ISE residencies, can I stress paid, each between 3 and 6 months long. And through the degree, our emphasis on learn by doing, you'll alternate your time between on-campus and learning blocks and residencies and partner companies, and they complement each other. So what you do in a residency follows on from what's discussed and explored on campus. I think the next point is really important. So inside these companies, you'll be part of a real professional team solving real-world problems, like fighting on the climate crisis, improving access to financial services. That's a really important aspect of democratizing the web, helping anyone, anywhere start a business, etc. And then to have a look at our partner companies, and I'll say a little bit more about that in a minute. Continuing on about the 5 paid residencies, one of the key innovations in immersive software engineering. So 45% of the course is residencies, paid professional practice in the world's best companies. You'll be matched with industry hosts. So currently we have an algorithm in place, and we'll introduce that to those of you who will be with us in September, and I hope that's many of you here today. You rotate across hosts and sites. So there are 5 residencies, and we'd like you to have experiences with different residency partners, different companies. That helps you to become flexible, adaptable, and robust, and to quickly onboard. And these are attributes that are necessary to be successful practitioners in today's world. Each residency has very specific learning outcomes. For example, the 4th residency in year 3, that's on software architecture and design. And there we want students to understand the architecture life cycle in the context of software development. Our first residency starts at the end of year 1. It's in the summer semester. The reason you can graduate with a master's in 4 years is because this is an accelerated intensive program. You work during the summers, but you get, when you're on residency, you're getting paid. So many academic internships are once-off placements in year 3, whereas with us, there's a placement in every year. You will be embedded in an agile team from day one, solving real-world problems. And within the residency partners that accompany, you're guided by technical experts, technical leads within the company. But more, very importantly, we, the faculty at the University of Limerick and the team in Immersive Software Engineering, we stay connected with you while on residency on a weekly basis. So there are weekly touch points with the ISE teaching and research team and the ISE industry coordination team. Here is a sample of the 50+ residency partners that are collaborating with us in rolling out immersive software engineering. I'm just going to pick 3 or 4 at random. If we start with Stripe, 7 lines of code that have revolutionized the world. Analog Devices here in Limerick, you might know them for manufacturing hardware components such as chips, but now they've closed the loop with software and they're moving into connected health, IoT, etc. Tynes, a company that got a lot of publicity just before Christmas because of a significant venture capital funding round. They provide cybersecurity, but it's for end users to deploy. Imagine that, how crazy can it be? You can set up a software security system for your applications without having a degree in software engineering. Intercom, how can we effectively allow people in organizations to communicate effectively? Don't take the heavy burden. You don't have to be watching 5 or 10 channels like social media, etc. Mana, I love this. Another crazy idea a few years ago when you think about a drone delivery. Who wants that? Well, my experience was before Christmas, 10 p.m. I was ordered, not asked, I was ordered to find a shop. We were out of bread, milk, and other such things. And what I would have given then for a drone just to drop it in the backyard. I would have paid any amount of money. Provisio, another company here in Limerick, and this is autonomous vehicles crash detection. Do you think there'd be an opportunity not only within Ireland, but within Limerick for that? All these companies I could go, if you look at TrackWorks down on the bottom left, just pick one, a company that was co-founded by one of our recent graduates from the University of Limerick, and this company doing amazing work in software engineering. So for me, the one key attribute that stands out from all these companies is creativity, innovation, and vision. A lot of these companies, they're building out solutions and services that, you know, initially I would have looked at and thought that's a bit crazy. Is there really a market for that? These people, the founders, the architects, the product owners, etc., they see opportunity where where the rest of society sees barriers. And you will learn by working with them how to innovate, how to be creative, etc. I can't sing their praises loud enough. And we're really lucky to have them as residency partners. Just a few quotes from people in the know. First quote there on the left from John Collison: Immersive Software Engineering program will be the most comprehensive and accelerated program of computer science education anywhere in the world, and a springboard for the brightest young minds to achieve great things. And that's coming from somebody with an incredible pedigree and a track record of success in software engineering. Upper right, this is a phenomenal way to learn the skills you need to build the next Instagram. Mike Krieger, co-founder of Instagram. And then we have Laura Sapingo, who's an aerospace engineer. And Laura is a recent graduate. She's on our Young Advisory Board. And Laura says the ISE program focuses on challenging innovative methodology, allowing students to acquire the necessary skills for their future career through an enriching experience. And I think these testimonials speak for themselves. Last slide from me today is about what kind of jobs could I get? Can I first say that the demand for software engineers is going to significantly outstrip supply for many, many years to come. So you could join one of the world's best companies as a software engineer, where you command a high salary and solve critical problems contributing to society, and you get to do this anywhere in the world. You could start your own company. You will learn through the residencies working with the creators and innovators. You'll be inspired to create something novel that people want to contribute to the development of our society. We want you to succeed. Our success is dependent upon your success, which is why we partnered with Frontline Ventures Enterprise Ireland. And the reason for that is to give you access to venture capital, to introduce you to angel investors and mentor networks. You could join the community or government sectors. If you just think for a second about the HSE here in Ireland and the requirements they have from an software applications perspective, it boggles the mind. It's incredible. So, and this becomes more important. So you can changing the world as part of a non-government organization, the philanthropic sector, using your knowledge and expertise. You could join the research community by doing a doctorate, and in doing a doctorate, researchers tackle problems nobody's ever solved before. Year 4 of Immersive Software Engineering, this is the MSc year, will be an excellent qualification to begin your research journey, because Residency 5 there is focused on research. Or you could use your new technical and entrepreneurial skills in ways that we could never have thought of. So I can't remember exactly, but it's about 25% of current roles did not exist 15 years ago, and that's going to continue on. So it's hard for me to figure out where we'll be in the software engineering world in 5 years' time. Maybe 1 or 2 years I'm fairly comfortable with. Anyway, enough from me. So thank you for your time. I'm going to hand you back to Stephen for further thoughts and then questions and answers.
Thank you very much, Tiziana. That was brilliant. Every time I hear this, every time I hear about the course, even though I've been working on it for 3 years, I get excited about it. That's incredible. I'm always so blown away by the by the amount of innovation that's actually in the course. It's extraordinary. So we've got a couple of questions coming in. Camilla asks, could you give me more details about the required portfolio? I sent a link to the part of the website that deals with the portfolio. Camilla, I wonder, JJ, do you want to say something really quick about the basic idea of the portfolio?
Yeah, the purpose of the portfolio is an opportunity for you to demonstrate creativity and innovation. There's 2 questions to be answered. Question 1 is about to demonstrate creativity in conjunction with technology, but it doesn't necessarily have to be programming. So it's how to go about solving problems and contributing to your community. And your community can be from just yourself to your family or your immediate or to your neighborhood, except for a school. And question 2 then is to tell us about some achievements that you're really proud of, because what we're looking for is a record of achievement across many different areas. And the portfolio is worth an extra 300 points on top of the 625 points maximum for the Leaving Cert. So it's an opportunity there to show us who you are and to get some additional points.
Very good, JJ. Thanks very much. There's a question here from Maud. Tiziana, maybe you could answer this one. Do you need coding experience?
Okay, so the answer is no. So we are going to teach the coding. So if you know already, that's fine. If you don't, that's not a problem, because we are actually starting from scratch. We are going to be a bit faster than the normal computer science courses, but yeah, that's not a problem. That's a feature, not a bug, right? The point is that also through the portfolio, we want to actually see the level of creativity, the level of engagement, the level of gumption, so to say, that you bring into the program. The ability to work with others, okay, because this is going to be a highly interactive, highly motivational, so to say, way of teaching and learning, where basically the students are discovering. They will discover coding, they will discover problem solving, they will discover communication, they will discover, all the parts that have to do with ethics and with the legal aspects also of the profession. So we really want to create a well-rounded professionals. Creativity and curiosity, they are the must. Coding comes, okay? That's a matter of learning.
JJ, great question here. Oh, sorry, there's a question here from Michael Maloney. Maybe you can answer this one, Tiziana. What are the main differences between computer science and immersive software engineering?
Hey, okay, so one thing is basically the organization. So this structure, so to say, instead of 6 parallel modules every semester and then the exam and then only 1 placement in the cooperative education during the summer of year 3, okay? And 4 years that bring you to a bachelor. we have this block organization, this intensive organization in studio-based, project-based work instead of normal classroom labs, etc., etc. And then the part of the internships. So in terms of knowledge, you're going to touch all the subjects that are typically taught also in a computer science degree, okay? But they are going to be organized in a different way, and your progression or your understanding and the mastership, so to say, of the craft in the real world is going to be highly enhanced. This is not to detract actually from the quality of the other courses offered in CISIS. I mean, I'm the ex-head of department, so I love them all, okay? And they are all really, really good. JJ here is not only our head of residencies, but he's also the course director of the LM121, which is the course in computer science that is starting. So we are well aware of the differences. We are well aware of this. And I think there is also a comment, there is a table on the website that is comparing at a high level the offering of the different courses in CISIS.
Brilliant, thank you. JD, to you, Mark Barry asks, what coding language is used?
Thank you for the easy questions again, Stephen. I owe you many at this point in time. So when I was an undergraduate, we learned about 12 languages. I think there's about 4,000 languages that can claim to be in some type of regular use. So we cover all the languages: Java, Python, C#, C++, scripting languages, PHP, functional languages such as Haskell, Scala, etc., and a whole host of other languages. It's not so much what are the languages currently that are in vogue, but as Tiziana said previously, how to solve problems at a high level and then map those onto, code. And there will be in 4 or 5 years' time, there will be new languages, and 5 years after that, new languages. So we teach you to be adaptable and robust with respect to that. But at a minimum, I think we'll cover about 10.
Brilliant. Bhumika, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I'm sorry if I didn't. Tiziana, is there any specific requirements subject-wise from the Leaving Cert point of view?
Yeah, there is only, so the prescription is the H4 in mathematics. Okay, so that's important, not necessarily because what is specifically taught there is absolutely central, but because it gives us the assurance that you are able to think mathematically and you like it, okay? So that's a prerequisite, so to say, for being successful in computer science, which is a very, very organized discipline, right? For the rest, we are totally happy with a minimum of 2 H5, 406 or 4 H7 grades. They can be in any subject. We like well-rounded students, so they can also be from, let's say, non-STEM background. If it is physics and chemistry and biology, that's fine. If it is arts or literature or history or something like that, we are equally happy.
Fantastic. Alex asks, and this is one for you, JJ, when is the deadline for the portfolio?
So the portfolio or submission portfolio aligns with the CEO deadline. So for example, the first deadline is at the 1st of February. So, and then there's a change of mind, which I think is up to the middle of May. So that'll be another deadline. So if you go to the website, www.software-engineering.ie, and click on portfolio, there's guidelines there on the submission process. But effectively what happens, the CEO will tell us that you have applied, and we will send you a link to submit the portfolio.
Perfect, thanks. Michael asks, how many points do you think will be needed? I'll answer that one, Michael. We don't know. It depends on how many students demand to take the course. The CAO system is a supply and demand system. So if one student with 300 points wants to take it, then that's what the points will be. And if 500 students with 625 points want to take it, then that's what the points will be. But of course, as Tiziana and JJ said, there's 2 parts to the points element in this course, quite uniquely for any software engineering course that I'm certain in Ireland, but probably in Europe. So there's this 625 points that you get the regular way through the Leaving Cert, but there's also a 300 point extra amount that we add on exactly like an arts college or something like that, because again, we have a good sense of the kind of graduate that we'd like to see. So hopefully that will help. Another thing, just as the questions come in, they're slowing down from coming in. We have an enormous amount of detail on the website, which is software-engineering.ie. But also, if you have any questions, just send us an email. The generic one is ise@ul.ie, or you can send any of us individually an email, and it's just firstname.lastname@ul.ie. This is our main focus. It's the thing we care about most. We want to make it a success. So if you have questions, shoot them on to us, and we're more than happy to answer any that you've got, because yeah, like I said, we're very, very incentivized to make this
maybe one more comment, if you don't mind, because we didn't say it. This year we are going to accept about 25 students. It can be a couple more, but it is more or less that ballpoint. Okay. The next years it is going to grow. We are foreseeing something like 50, 70, 80 or so, stabilizing at around 80, because the point is that this works only if there is a very, very intensive mentorship, a very, very intensive coaching. We are actually aiming at a teacher to student ratio that is better than Stanford. Okay. And one more difference may be all the companies that you have seen, they actually are investing in ISE. They are not just taking our students for free in a certain sense, paying the students also, they are contributing to the financing of the program. This is absolutely essential. It also guarantees that they are with us all the time when they have students and when they don't have students, okay? So it is a much more integrated ecosystem, which is also a difference with respect to the traditional courses.
Brilliant. I can't see any more questions coming in, so I think maybe we might wrap up and let everyone go back to their Saturday night, or their Thursday night, even Saturday night. Still 2 more days of work, Steve. Maybe we might just finish up and let everyone head off. What do you think?
Yeah, well, listen, thanks so much to Siana, Stephen and JJ, and to Keith there in the background, who's been doing so much to help organise this event this evening. And I suppose just on a personal basis, I just see a tweet from you, Stephen, earlier on today to congratulate you on your appointment as Professor of Economics at the University of Limerick. So well done, Stephen, and congratulations, and the very, very best of luck to you in that very, very important role in the university. And we're delighted to see that you're going from strength to strength in terms of all that you're doing there. It's been really fantastic to hear you speaking this evening about this very exciting course. And I think that slide with all of the companies around Limerick and beyond Limerick is just fascinating in terms of the residencies. And I suppose the reason that we organise this evening is because the deadline for the CEO is fast approaching, and we wanted students and parents and guardians and career guidance teachers to have a little bit more information and to ask some questions of the people who can answer the tough questions. So it was really, really timely to have this. We're extremely grateful to everybody for taking the time out to be with us here this evening, and we just hope that you'll be very interested in getting some more information about the course through the various different sources of information that have been made available to you. And I think it's also wonderful to hear the fantastic steps and measures that you've in place to include everybody in terms of all sorts of abilities and aptitudes, and that inclusion factor is something that's very important to students of all aptitudes. So very, very refreshing and healthy to hear such a prominence given to that area there. So thank you very much, Stephen, Tiziana and JJ, and thank you to all the parents and guardians and students across Limerick and Clare and further afield for your attention here this evening. And take care and have a lovely weekend when it comes around.